Story 1, Am I the A-hole? My GF of 7 months got drunk and slept in another man's hotel room, so I ended it. This isn't as simple as the title. We are both in our late 20s and have been together for 7 months. She told me this, so I don't know how accurate it is, or if any important details were left out. I don't have anyone else's story but hers. While she was out of town, she decided to go to a bar with a small group of people she just met at an event. The group was 4 people, a single guy, my girlfriend, and a couple. The single guy showed interest in her, but she told him she had a boyfriend and isn't interested. The guy kept buying drinks for the group and got everyone drunk. Knowing she was too drunk to drive, the group invited her to crash in one of their rooms at a nearby hotel. The group ended up in the single guy's hotel room, intending to hang out for a bit, but the couple quickly left because one of them started vomiting from drinking too much. This left my girlfriend alone with the other guy, and he started making moves on her. She was so drunk she was on the verge of passing out, but she was awake enough to tell him no several times. He kissed her, and she confessed to me that she kissed him back, but then told him to stop. She gave me more details about him pulling out his pork and trying to do things to her while she was trying to just get some sleep. She kept telling him no, but he kept trying things, even bruising her arms by holding her down. At some point, things calmed down enough that she fell asleep. She insisted that no penetration happened. In the morning, she said goodbye and drove back to her hotel. When she got back into town a few days later, she confessed and told me this story. But it doesn't end there. I was hurt, disappointed, and just needed time to think. Some of this sounds like she is a victim. I told her I wasn't sure what I would do about it yet. A week goes by, and we try to go back to normal while I deal with it internally. She calls me one day saying she is going to urgent care because of pain and discomfort downstairs. We had sex earlier that day. She later confessed to me that there's a chance they had sex that night, which may have led to an infection or something, but that she was asleep or too blackout drunk to remember. She told me that she spoke with the police about the incident and that they made a report and were going to ask the guy questions. This is when she confessed to me about her and the guy exchanging phone numbers, and that she also had lunch with this group the morning after. I never saw a copy of the report, so I don't know if that part is true. Either way, this is all extremely poor judgment on her part, especially by someone who told me she would ruin my life if I ever cheated on her. She said she would cut off my manhood if I ever cheated. I can't stop thinking about it. This guy she just met getting her drunk, rubbing his pork on her, exchanging kisses, potentially banging, and then having lunch together the next day. I can't live a life always paranoid, wondering, is she going to get drunk tonight with her friends and do this again with someone she doesn't even know? Am I going to get some disease? She had many opportunities to avoid this. She knows her hotel is far away and would need to drive, so why did she decide to go drinking? Why didn't she remove herself from the situation when a guy who wants her keeps buying her drinks? Why didn't she take an Uber? Why did she agree to go into this guy's hotel room? Why didn't she leave when the couple left? Why did she omit details from the story and wait over a week to tell me? Some of this story sounds she was sexually assaulted, sexually harassed, violated. The rest sounds like she made a lot of stupid decisions, willingly got into another man's bed, and had too many opportunities to get out of this situation, but decided not to. I have a thought in the back of my head that is telling me I don't have the full story and she's hiding details. I'm broken apart by this and can't stop thinking about it. I decided to end it. Am I the asshole? Was this the right move, or am I an asshole for dumping someone after they were sexually assaulted? Story 2. I destroyed my life chasing a fantasy, and it cost me everything real. I almost lost everything by chasing a fantasy. Twice. I hurt the people closest to me, fell for illusions, and destroyed what really mattered, all because I couldn't see what was right in front of me. I've been married twice. My first marriage ended because I was too young and selfish to understand what commitment really meant. I cheated often, thinking I could have it all, marriage and excitement on the side. I hurt someone who didn't deserve it, and by the time I realized the damage I'd done, it was too late. But even after the divorce, I hadn't changed. I jumped into a second marriage, convinced it would be different, convinced I'd be different. But old habits die hard. I started pulling away from my wife, chasing excitement elsewhere, and falling back into old patterns. I traveled a lot for work, and I was reckless sleeping around on almost every business trip, thinking I could keep everything separate. Then came someone else. She seemed to have everything my wife didn't. Kid-free, never married, living the carefree, exciting life I thought I wanted. I convinced myself that leaving my wife for her would make me happy. So I did. I left my wife for her, believing I had finally found what I was missing. But once I made that leap, the reality of who she was hit me hard. Turns out, she lived a very dark life. She had been sued for fraud, had a DUI and a suspended driver's license, and had an affair with another married man before me. The professional connections she bragged about? Non-existent. In fact, she had no real friends and was known as a homewrecker because our affair became public on social media. The illusion I had fallen for? Completely fake. I had destroyed my marriage for someone who wasn't even close to the person I thought she was. The affair being made public through social media made everything worse. Suddenly, everyone knew. The fallout wasn't just in my personal life, it was everywhere. People saw me differently, and I had to deal with that shame on top of everything else. Despite it all, my wife and I never officially divorced. We had kids together, and every time I visited, we'd reconnect, sometimes even physically. It was messy and painful, but deep down, I don't think either of us ever truly let go. Eventually, I came clean. I told her the truth, that I wanted to make things right and do it properly this time. I didn't deserve her forgiveness, but she gave me another chance on her terms. We started counseling together, and let me tell you, counseling isn't a quick fix. It's brutal. You can't hide behind lies in that room. You have to face everything, the raw truth about who you've become. The hardest part wasn't admitting what I had done, it was hearing the truth from her. Hearing how deeply I had hurt her and facing the reality of the damage I'd caused. That's the part that sticks with me. The wounds don't heal overnight, and the process is slow, so slow that even now, I know I'm still working to earn back the trust I shattered. We started going on date nights again, being more present for each other, trying to build new memories. What I learned is that fixing a relationship isn't about grand gestures. It's about showing up every day in the small moments, even when it feels fragile, even when it's hard. I've stopped chasing fantasies. The relief of no longer living a double life is something I didn't expect, but the scars I left behind won't ever fully heal. I've learned that chasing illusions costs you everything real, and I'm living with those choices. I'm not looking for advice or sympathy. I just needed to get this off my chest. Maybe some of you have been in the same place, chasing something temporary at the expense of what's real. I learned too late what it truly costs. Thank you for letting me share this. It's been a long time coming.